Good evening, Oswego, and welcome to WTOP 10 Tuesday Night News, your connection to Oswego and beyond. I'm Christopher Collins McNeil.
And I'm Christina Deem. Today is Monday, October 15th, 2012, and this is your news, sports, and weather all before the first commercial break. Let's take a look at your top stories. 10 News starts now.
Stephanie Miner, as well as two other New York mayors of New York cities, are responding to a New York Post article published Monday that claims they are looking for a bailout from the governor. The column by Frederick Dickers stated Syracuse, Rochester, and Yonkers are close to bankruptcy, and secret talks have been held in recent weeks on their financial options. The three stated that one of the states will not be seeking financial help. Others, many citizens in New York, have been bombarded with a serious financial burden they are trying to fix. Thirdly, the cities are not seeking handouts. Lastly, to suggest the otherwise postpones the progress they are attempting.
Police are now releasing more information about a double fatal car crash that occurred in Gettys, New York around midnight this morning. The crash involved a 1997 Pontiac Grand Prix traveling east on I-690. The driver lost control and spun into a concrete median, landing in the passing lane. The driver was a 20-year-old woman from out of state whose name has not yet been released. The driver was killed along with Ryan Mesner of Liverpool. Joseph Clayton, also from Liverpool, was in the car as well and suffered severe head trauma. A second vehicle hit the Pontiac, and the driver, David Grace of Fulton, was taken to the hospital in serious condition.
And now we'll take a look outside at our current weather conditions with meteorologist Mike Stallman. Mike, what's it looking like out there?
And good evening, Oswego. Meteorologist Mike Stallman taking a look at your weather outside. The word of the night is windy. It is gusty winds have taken over the region along with some cooler temperatures. For tonight, right now it's about 50 degrees or so, but those temperatures are going to drop overnight as they should drop into the low to mid 40s. Now tomorrow we should be expecting a little cooler of a day. Low 50s is what we can expect for a high. But looking at our next 3 days, it's going to be a moderating trend with temperatures approaching 70 with a slight chance of showers each day. But I'll have a closer look at the forecast coming up in just a little bit. Back inside to you guys.
Dr. Gregory Fink of Upstate Medical University in Syracuse had one of the lowest patient death rates in the state between 2008 and 2010. Fink, Upstate Chief of Cardiac Surgery, was the only heart surgeon in Syracuse had one of the 13 in the state with a statistically lower than average patient mortality rate, according to the report by the State Health Department. The report said many factors can influence the outcome of cardiac surgery, including the patient's health before the procedure, the skill of the operating team, and the care received after surgery.
February 8th and 9th, the American Foundry will be hosting Oswego's 8th annual Dancing with the Community Stars. Members of Habitat for Humanity's Resource Development Department are currently looking for couples that would be interested in participating in the event, which is the organization's largest fundraiser of the year. All proceeds will go toward the construction of a new home in Oswego County.
The Dr. Lewis B. O'Donnell Media Summit is just over a week away.
And to tell us a little more about what to expect, Jordan Harmon is standing by with a preview of the event. Jordan?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, the Media Summit's coming up in a little over a week from now. This will be Wednesday, October 24th at 3 p.m. at the Waterman Theater in Tyler Hall. There's going to be a group of panelists there to answer students' questions. Some panelists such as Dennis Mueller, the award-winning documentary maker, Jackie Robinson from CNY Central, former anchor for them, Kevin Torres, the Oswego alumni, and Emmy Award-winning backpack journalist for NBC. This event wouldn't be possible for the awesome donations from Lou Borelli and Al Roker, as well as the awesome coordination and event planning from Dr. David Moody. Now back to you guys.
Sherlock Holmes is coming to Oswego.
And Paige Treen has a story.
It was on with the show at Tyler Hall's Waterman Theater on Friday. The Oswego State Theater Group kicked off their season with Sherlock Holmes, The Final Adventure. The show centers around Detective Sherlock Holmes and his ward Watson investigating the house imprisonment of Irene Adler, a plan seemingly manipulated by Holmes' adversary, the nefarious Professor Moriarty. Director Mark Cole gives the cast particular credit for driving themselves to fit the London setting.
The dialect work that all of the actors have had to work on has really been pretty intense. They've worked with a dialect coach, Joan Hart Willer. They had a lot of training right from the very first week of rehearsals with it.
And while getting into character is difficult, the cast attributes director Mark Cole's forward style of directing to really bring out their inner character.
Moriarty.
New to the collagen program, Moriarty's actor, Tyler Eldred, says that compared to other directors, Cole applies more of a teaching method.
Moriarty is the antagonist and the driving force behind all these events. Mark is more driven towards bringing it out of us as a teacher, rather than as a director alone. It's a different experience and I value it a lot.
What was that? Go now, Watson, do as I say!
The show will run this weekend at 8 p.m. Friday and Saturday with a matinee Sunday at 2:30. Tickets are $7 for students and $13 for the public, $10 on Saturday. From Tyler Hall, this is Paige Trina and Ben Sperduti, WTOP 10 News.
A new exciting venture at Oswego has recently been announced. SUNY Oswego is to implement their engineering degree program next fall. The new engineering program will help meet demand regionally and nationally for engineers in such cutting-edge fields such as bioinstrumentation, robotics, and power systems, and in other systems such as microprocessors, which are found in machines and products from automobiles and refrigerators. The university reports 80 students to be enrolled in the fall and 20 to graduate.
The film Crooked Arrows will be held tomorrow, October 16th at 7:30 p.m. in the Hewitt Union Ballroom. The movie is about a mixed-blood Native American who must prove himself to his father, the traditionalist tribal chairman, by rediscovering his spirit. The screening of the film will be followed by a question and answer period with former SUNY Oswego faculty member Brad Riddell, the writer of the film, as well as the film's director, co-producer, and an actor. The event is free. For more information, call 312-4581.
And now we'll see what's going on with sports. Mark, what's going on?
Thanks, guys. We're less than 2 weeks away from the start of hockey season here in Oswego. On October 26th, the Lakers will take on the SUNY Cortland Red Dragons in the team's first game of the year. The squad will, however, play an exhibition game this Saturday against the USA under-18 national team in preparation for the season opener less than a week later. The team is looking to take home the national championship this year after falling a game shy of the title last season. And coming up later in your sports report, including recaps of the Bills at Cardinals, the Colts at Jets, and a look at the Yankees vs. Tigers ALCS series.
Coming up after the break, Senator Chuck Schumer calls for federal action against Social Security fraud.
And an official report from New York State's Comptroller Office on this year's spending.
Currently, it looks like there's some rain to our east, but what can we expect in the next few days? I'll have a full look coming up right after the break.
Oswego MBA program helping you achieve your goals with a customized curriculum developed with flexibility in mind. Take classes year-round, full or part-time in Oswego, online or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. More information is available online or by calling 315-312-2911.
Hi, I'm CNN's Rob Marciano, and you're watching WTOP 10, your television station.
I'm lucky. I get to do something I love.
How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork?
I help keep kids in school.
Good.
And that's the name of the game.
My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
WTOP TV10, Oswego, New York. I'm Naked. Come on.
And good evening once again, Oswego. Meteorologist Mike Stallman taking a look at your weather. And currently right now temperatures are around 51 degrees. They are going to drop off as the night goes on, but the big story here is the gusty winds. Taking a look at some of the headlines, again, very windy for the rest of the evening. But after tomorrow we should have a gradual warming trend However, that might change coming into the weekend. I'll have a look at that in just a little bit. So looking at some of the temperatures around our region, our warm spot as usual, New York City, but taking a look, we have a 45 degrees over in Jamestown. That cooler air is going to push towards the east as the night progresses. So here we are, we're going to take a look at our surface analysis. We have a cold front that is draped pretty much right along the east coast. That's going to bring that cooler air for at least the next day or so. And we also have these showers that have passed through earlier. They are moving to the east and they should not be affecting us for the rest of the night. Here's another look at that heavier rain that we saw earlier that's well off to the east for right now. So taking a look tomorrow at 8 a.m., we have those showers well off to the east, and it should be mostly cloudy, at least around our region. And tomorrow afternoon, it looks like we might even have some sunshine in the area, some partly sunny skies. It's still going to remain pretty breezy, though. And as we look into 8 p.m. tomorrow night, the clouds will start to thicken up once again in advance of our next system. So some of you are wondering, well, what's going to happen about winter? A lot of people have asked me, too. So here's a look at what some people have been saying. Looking like for the East Coast, it might be above average snowfall. Here, there's equal chances, so you never know how it's going to go. Winter around here is usually unpredictable, so we'll just have to take it as we can, right? So for tonight, we have temperatures in the low to mid 40s, very windy with a slight chance of showers, so if you're going to go outside, you're going to want to bundle up. It's going to feel a lot colder than it really is. And for tomorrow, low to mid 50s, clouds giving way to some sunshine, and still remaining breezy throughout most of the day. And here we are taking a look at our 7-day forecast. After tomorrow, it's going to warm up quite a bit into the mid to upper 60s. But the Friday, as our system approaches, it's going to be rainy and temperatures will drop off into the upper 50s again for the remainder of the weekend.
You know, I'm really ready for an Oswego winter. It'll be my first one. I'm looking forward to it.
Just don't look forward to that Oswego winter. It's too much snow. Then you got to brush off your car, and you're
No car.
Around here, the wind will just blow it all away, so you never know what's going to happen.
Very good. Senator Chuck Schumer is calling for Social Security reform. Schumer claims there have been more than 19,000 reports of attempted identity thefts. That's about 50 each day. Scammers divert payments by obtaining account information, then making a phone call to reroute the money to their own accounts. To foil scammers, Schumer wants beneficiaries to be notified immediately about any attempted changes to bank account information via email, text, letters, and automated phone calls. The Social Security Inspector General also recommends an automatic system notification.
A new report released by the Comptroller's Office shows an average spending of $6,859 per New Yorker in its most recent fiscal year. According to Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli, New York's government has made progress toward aligning revenue and spending. The fiscal year ended on March 31st and was reported to be down $1.3 billion, or 1% from the previous year. The report also states that education and public health count for about 68% of state spending.
Presidential candidate Mitt Romney is gaining support from right-wing leaners just a few weeks before the voters go to the polls. The polls have reported Romney approaching the president in the polls. After a strong performance in the first presidential debate, coupled with a lackluster effort by President Obama, it served as the catalyst for Romney's gaining support. The latest CNN poll reported Romney was slightly ahead of Obama by 48 to 47 and pulled it ahead of the president in the crucial state of Florida, 49 to 46. However, Obama maintained his lead in two other key battleground states by 50 to 47 in Ohio and 48 to 47 in Virginia. The next few weeks will be crucial for both candidates.
The United States has reason to believe that Iran is behind the recent cyber attacks on American banks. This accusation has not yet been made publicly, but officials have characterized the attacks as coming from a state actor, and U.S. intelligence has observed and followed the attacks as coming out of Iran. One official stated, quote, "We strongly believe there is a relationship between the people typing the code and the people running the government."
The families of those killed in the September 11th attacks have been invited to military installations to watch pre-trial hearings in Guantanamo Bay for 5 men charged with planning or assisting the terrorist strike. Relatives who register in advance can watch on closed-circuit television at forts in New Jersey, Massachusetts, Maryland, and New York City. One of the main suspects on trial is Khalid Mohammed, the self-professed mastermind of the September 11th attacks. The nearly 3,000 people killed in the attacks each have many relatives who could see the trial, but attendance at the first round of hearings last spring was light, with only a few dozen people at each site. As the trial approaches, we must keep those affected by the attack in thought.
At least 15 explosions rocked a northern Nigerian city this evening, a city long under siege by Boko Haram, a radical Islamic sect. The attacks occurred in Maiduguri, which is the sect's spiritual home, and have grown increasingly common as of late. It remains unclear what was happening during the evening's attacks, as military officials and police officers have declined to comment on the issue.
When we come back, we'll have a full look with Maggie Fuller. But first, here is your late night menu.
I always want to be first in line for the Louis B. O'Donnell Media Summit.
The what?
The Louis B. O'Donnell Media Summit.
What is that?
The Dr. Louis B. O'Donnell Media Summit, Wednesday, October 24th at 3 p.m. inside Waterman Theater in Tyler Hall on the campus of SUNY Oswego. Meet the panelists who guide our media future.
Hair loss. Now this rash on my face, what's going on?
For answers, ask your doctor the right question.
Could I have lupus?
The Oswego MBA program helping you achieve your goals with a customized curriculum developed with flexibility in mind. Take classes year-round, full or part-time in Oswego, online or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. More information is available online or by calling 315-312-2911.
The magic of the world of Harry Potter flew into Oswego this weekend. Maggie Fowler has more on this unique experience.
Harry Potter is a collection of books and movies that many consider to be a magical part of their childhood. Since the adventure has come to an end, people have been bringing Harry Potter foods, games, and characters to life. This past Saturday at 1 p.m., this little bit of magic was at Oswego as it held its first successful Quidditch game on the Lee softball field. Many Oswego students came together to help out, including 19-year-old junior Laura Kahn, who refereed for Quidditch for the first time.
I'm actually a Harry Potter nerd. I have a tattoo and everything. I love the books, love the movies, love Quidditch. That's why I'm here, so it's a good time. I've been a fan since I was 11 and started reading the books, so I got to grow up with Harry, and that was pretty cool. Be a ref for this, and we got a rule book from the hall director in Waterbury of what they did in Brockport. So we already had rules made, so I just kind of applied my reffing knowledge from soccer to Quidditch. The difficult part is making this magical game a muggle game. So like, how do we have the brooms on every person without you flying? And like, so what rules do we have about that? And who can take the balls and who can't take the balls and all that different stuff. I expect because everyone that's here is also Harry Potter fans, so it's going to be a lot of Harry Potter geeks getting together and running around playing Quidditch. It's going to be awesome.
This year, 20-year-old student Jessica Griswold was appointed captain of the Oswego Quidditch team. She, in addition to many other students, dedicated a lot of time and effort into making the game come to life.
We had 2 teams this year, and so we had best 2 out of 3. And then to make up for the magic, along with the brooms, we had an actual person be a snitch. So instead of chasing a little ball, you chase the person, and it's fun because they get to taunt people, and there's limits, and it was very interesting to compensate for the magic, but it made it even more funny. And then the community, it was great. We used residence halls, and because Res Life put it on, we used our own connections and community building abilities. to make it possible to get residents there. And when people were there, they enjoyed it, they were fun, they were competitive, but they still were concerned about each other and others' health. I see this staying within Res Life. We actually talked to the intramural people, and they said that it was too much of a danger with this competitiveness and with people who go too far with the brooms and then like contact. But Res Life really supports it and we're really into it. So we're seeing it becoming more of a campus-wide tournament than just the area that we live in. So we're looking to expand but keep it within Res Life.
The magic was definitely brought to Oswego this past Saturday thanks to all the students who worked so hard to bring this unique sport to Oswego. And that is how the snitch was caught.
So that is definitely an interesting sport to have on campus. Would you ever be interested in playing Quidditch for the college?
Personally, I'm not much of a Quidditch player. I know a lot of friends and people who love the sport, and they would definitely love to be a part of it. It gets really intense at some colleges, but here at Oswego, we're just getting new to it. Maybe in a few years it'll be more established, but for right now, it's just a fun, lighthearted game.
Excellent,
for
excellent.
students.
Sounds like fun. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
An Austrian man jumps from more than 24 miles in the sky, falling for more than 4 minutes and reaching speeds of more than 700 miles per hour.
That man is now being hailed as an aerospace pioneer. Reporter Brian Todd has the details.
With a heart-pounding hop into the stratosphere, Felix Baumgartner makes history. He jumps from 128,000 feet above the Earth, 24 miles up, higher than anyone before him. During freefall, he spun for a few harrowing moments, but stabilized quickly.
It started spinning so violent, it spun me around in all different axes, and I was always trying to find out how to stop this, I was putting one arm out and it didn't work, then putting another arm out, but you're always late because at that speed, when you travel at that speed, with that suit when it's pressurized, you don't feel the air at all.
In those first seconds, he broke another record. No one had ever gone through the sound barrier outside a vehicle. Baumgartner reached a top speed of more than 700 miles an hour, well past the speed of sound. Freefall lasted 4 minutes 19 seconds before his parachute opened. That's short of the record for the longest freefall in history. But after he safely touched down, the man known as Fearless Felix was hailed as an aerospace pioneer.
It's hard to realize what happened right now because there's still so many emotions, I had tears in my eyes when I was coming back a couple times because you're sitting there and you thought about that moment so many times, how it would feel and how it would look like. And this is way bigger than I anticipated.
This mission had been 5 years in the planning. In Baumgartner's ear during the ascent, Colonel Joe Kittinger, the man whose record Baumgartner broke. Kittinger had jumped from 102,000 feet in 1960. I interviewed Baumgartner and Kittinger together earlier this year.
Are you jealous of Felix that he's going to break your record?
I'm delighted. I'm delighted he's going to do it. He's advancing science. And he'll do a great job.
Mission leaders and space officials hope this jump will show them if astronauts, space tourists, or high-altitude pilots can survive for any extended period outside a vehicle if there's a malfunction. If it held up as expected, Baumgartner's high-pressure suit could be the next generation suit for future missions.
What will Felix Baumgartner do next? He told me that after this jump, he wants to pursue an occupation as a helicopter rescue pilot. Might be a bit of a letdown. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
Now for a full look at sports with Mark.
Thanks again, guys. Now let's jump right into some NFL action. This week, the Buffalo Bills went into Arizona to take on the Cardinals, and this one was a nail-biter that needed overtime to declare a victor. With just a minute left on the clock, Cardinals kicker Jay Feely nailed a 61-yard field goal to knot it at the game at 16 and send the game into overtime. A few minutes into OT, Feely had a chance to secure a Cardinals win with a 38-yard field goal attempt, which he would eventually miss. The Cardinals would get the ball back with a chance for the win, but Bills safety Jarius Byrd picked off quarterback John Skelton to set up the game-winning 25-yard field goal for Ryan Lindell with the win. The Bills improved to 3-3 and dropped the Cardinals to 4-2. Elsewhere in the NFL, the reeling Jets played host to Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. Many suspected that this could possibly be quarterback Mark Sanchez's last start following 2 rough weeks, which both ended in losses. That, however, would never come to be as Sanchez played an efficient game and the Jets were able to ride set running back Sean Green to a 35-9 victory. Green finished the game with a career-high 161 yards and 3 touchdowns. Luck and the Colts looked out of sync all day, and that resulted in 4 Colts turnovers in the eventual loss. Going into Week 7, all 4 teams in the AFC East are tied with a 3-3 record. The Jets will have a chance to take sole possession of first next Sunday when they take on the Patriots in Foxborough. Let's move to the Diamond as we take a look at Game 2 of the Detroit Tigers versus New York Yankees ALCS Series. The Yankees came into the game down 1-0 in the series. The Yankees left the game in the hands of Hiroki Kuroda, who was mowing down batters until the 7th inning when an RBI groundout gave the Tigers a 1-0 lead. Moving to the 8th inning where the Yankees bullpen comes in and can't hold the floodgates as the Tigers tack on 2 more insurance runs and, in part to what was believed to be a missed call by the second base umpire. Upon closer examination of the video, it would appear that the call was indeed wrong and Cano did make the necessary tag. Despite the arguments of Robinson Cano and manager Joe Girardi, who would eventually be ejected from the game in the ninth, it would be former Yankee Phil Koch putting the finishing touches and giving the Tigers a 2-0 series lead heading into Detroit. That's it for sports. Now back over to the news desk.
And when we come back, we'll take a look at the lighter side of news and a final look at your forecast.
Stay tuned. You're watching WTOP.
Oswego MBA program helping you achieve your goals with a customized curriculum developed with flexibility in mind. Take classes year-round, full or part-time in Oswego online or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. More information is available online or by calling 315-312-2911.
Hi, I'm CNN's Rob Marciano, and you're watching WTOP10, your television station.
I'm lucky. I get to do something I love. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Tomlinson. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
WTOP10 Oswego, New York. I'm Naked. Come on.
So that wind today, it was just crazy. My hair was all over the place today. It was driving me insane.
All right, walking down the stairs to class. Is anybody else getting blown over on the stairs? I mean, I might be a lightweight, but I'm getting blown over.
It's bad if you go in those wind tunnels, too. It's going to really blow you around.
And Felix blowing the sound barrier, that was amazing. I actually just heard this story tonight.
I know, trending on Twitter. Everyone's talking about it on Facebook. I mean, this was a real story that everybody was interested in.
I saw it on Twitter last night, but I didn't watch it. I mean, I'm terrified of heights, so I couldn't imagine jumping like down through space. I want to do it. That's scary. That terrifies me.
All right, you want to do it?
We'll do it.
All right, this summer we're going to try it.
That's a brave guy right there.
He did break a 52-year record. I mean, that's pretty impressive for it to not been done in that long, and he just shattered it. 24 miles. That's a lot.
That's a lot. And tomorrow's the presidential debate.
I'm sure everybody's going to be watching that.
I will be watching. I will definitely be watching. Obama, 2012.
All right, well, I mean, that's going to be taking place at Hofstra University, very close to my hometown. I have a lot of friends that are going to be attending the debate. They said it's really been a hassle around campus. I mean, helicopters trying takeoffs and whatnot. It's been a rough time over at Hofstra, but I mean, the debate's going to be big. That's all we can talk about.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Lot to win, lot to lose. And I'm Christopher Collins McNeil. Thanks for staying current.
I'm Mike Stallman.
I'm Mark Kaplan.
And I'm Christina Dean. Thanks for watching. Tune in tomorrow.